Hello. I've had a busy session today. On my car, I have. I'm kind of pointing at this bar here, and its counterpart on the other side there, and it's a early Ford radius rod, but it's used as a chassis brace, and it bolts on down there. You can see the bolt, and it attaches there, and I've got to put a couple more bolts in. There's a big bracket there that bolts onto where the mechanical brake relay shafts used to mount. But what you can see is, can you see there's two holes inboard of the new holes? Well, they were the old holes, and the rods wouldn't go to there because of the overdrive being in the way. But luckily there was enough meat on the bracket to drill a new hole each end, and I shortened the radius rods very slightly, drilled a new hole in the radius rods, and have been able to bolt them on. It just clears the battery tray, which has always been the case, and luckily it just cleared this new brake pipe that I put in as well here. Just cleared that new brake pipe, so that's good. Okay, anyway, that's what I've done today. The radius rods. I'm trying to just concentrate on jobs that require fabrication work to try and get those knocked out. I've done a list actually. Let's have a look at the list. I sat down the other day and just wrote down some memory joggers. Hubs on, check that there's no oil on the tapers. Wheels on, bleed brakes. Exhaust on, handbrake bracket. That's because the bracket that exists won't bolt to the gearbox. Gearbox oil, which has been ordered. Dynamo connections, that's because I haven't tightened those up on the dynamo, the generator. Put the seats in, put the floors in. Handbrake link. Now that is an idea to just put a link between the two brake cables to keep them somewhat together. I'll show you why, possibly in a little bit. Shocks. Yes, do up the shocks. They can be done up, there's no problem there. Overdrive wiring. Frame braces. Okay, right, I've just done those. So frame braces, cross out. Good. One thing off the list. Headlamp aim, can't do that till they're down on the ground. Carb linkage. I think that will need extending because it needs to be lengthened by about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch, and I don't think there's that much adjustment on it. And I need to disconnect that to put the floors in. So so there's my list. Anyway, I'll slowly work my way through those, and hopefully when all those are done, plus anything else that I have forgotten about, you know, we'll be ready to have a drive. So yeah, so overdrive wiring, that's not a simple thing. You can buy a proper relay, but they're quite expensive. But I might invest in a proper relay so it has the correct thing, or I could just go for a switch, and I've just got to remember to turn it on and off. Anyway, you don't hear about wiring now, but there's my list of jobs. All in all, yeah, it's not looking too bad. I'll show you what I've just been looking at. This would need modifying. If you line it up, if I line it up with the screw holes, so that's in its standard position, you can see that needs to be cut back in that area there. Oh, and that there is the switch. That switch is closed when it's in third and fourth, and it's open in every other gear and neutral. So in other words, the overdrive will only operate in third and fourth. but that probably will fall within that window there, so that'll be okay. I'll bring you back when I've got something to show. Hello, I just dropped this floorboard in and this one fitted perfectly, no problem. I put that one in, but it was fouling very slightly here, so you can see where I have relieved that. I just went and cut it with a jigsaw. I'm aware that I need to fit a bracket on this side for the handbrake. I wanted to put that in for two reasons. One is I want to set up the accelerator linkage so it's just right, and I wanted to check the clutch free play. I need to make a new bracket for the handbrake. I want to see if I can get one of the proper lids, you see, and if I can get the proper lid, it will mean I won't have to cut the cover so much. So it would be worth my while trying to find one of the proper lids. I'll do a few things and then I'll come back and show you a little bit of progress. Cheers then, back in a bit. I've just been on the milling machine, and basically this cover is the one I've been using for my mock-ups, and you can see where I've machined it there, and you can see where I've machined it there, and this is the cover that I'm going to use because that's all rusted, that's broken there, that all this is corroded, and those pins are all corroded, and that's all to do with the interlock mechanism, so that is scrap in effect. But this is the cover I'm going to use, and I've just machined that face there and this face here, so that this shifter piece will go onto here, and this will be the one I'm going to use. So I need to drill and tap some holes in the end and drill a couple of holes in there, you know, just to finish the job off, but at least I've got a top I can use. Nothing fancy, but I can't find a M40 lid. If I can find an M40 lid, I can swap it at a later date. I'll bring it back when there's more to show. Hello, I've done quite a long session today. I haven't done any filming because I just wanted to crack on. I'm getting quite close now. I'm just kind of generally looking in. Let me have a look at my list. Here's my list. So I'll put the hubs on. You know, check that there was no oil or grease on the tapers. I've bled the brakes. Very easy using the easy bleed. I put the wheels on. There they are, look. I'll put the exhausts on. And I've made a handbrake bracket. I did that the other day. Gearbox oil, what I've written there, on floor. That doesn't mean the gearbox oil is on the floor. What that means is the car needs to be down on the ground before I can do that. Dynamo connections, yep, done them. Seats, no, I haven't done them. Floors, no, I haven't done them. But I have cut them where they need cutting. Handbrake link, yes, that's all done. I've remade quite a bit of the handbrake. Clutch linkage, yes. Shocks, yes, they're connected up. Overdrive wiring, no, but I have ordered a special relay, and I have ordered a long stemmed momentary switch, so I've got plans for the wiring. Frame braces, yes, did those the other day. Carb linkage, yes, did that. And what I've just been working on is the gearbox lid, and then a couple of other points that I've added to the list are axle oil and coolant. So there's my list, there's the car. It's virtually at the point where I can bring it down on the ground now. Okay, righto, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, last night I was working on this. This is the better cover, and this was the piece that I'd modified and kind of mocked up. Then that will go on there like that. That's the idea, and I was just wondering about how to seal it, but I've just come back from my friend's and I have this. This is the sort of lid that I'm trying to emulate, and this will do the job. So thanks Pete for sorting me that out. That's going to help a lot. It'll save a lot of this, and it will mean a neater installation in the car where I only have to trim the transmission cover a small amount to fit around that. So I don't have to worry about this now. This can all be put on one side. But what you can see here is that there is a threaded hole, and that is for the switch that screws into the top that tells the overdrive when the gearbox is in 4th gear, so that the overdrive will engage when it's in 4th gear. Now what you can see here, there's like a P-shaped shape on the lid, but underneath there is a boss there, and that boss, that one there, the lower one of the two, is in the right place. So what I need to do is to locate on that boss and drill it out. I found on the internet a mention where that is M16 by 2mm pitch. So when I've ascertained that that is correct and that is the thread, I will drill and tap that. The other thing I might want to do is to try and do something about this area here where this is badly worn. I might try and do something about that. So thank you very much Pete, that'll make a nice tidy job. I'll sort that out and I might do something about that. Here we go, got three different lids now, look, and this is the one I'll be using. I will bring you back when there's more to show. I've gone through with a 14mm drill, and I'm going to try and power tap it. You have to be ready to turn it off quick. Hardly wants to turn. There we go, lovely. This tap is from a set that I bought when I was, I don't know, 18 or something, and I know I've never used it. I don't think I've ever drilled a 16mm hole, so it's brand new. So hopefully it should come out okay. This is what has to screw in. It normally goes in from the other side, of course. There you go. A little bit loose, but that'll be alright once it's tightened up. Okay, righto. Another little job off the list. I was worried that that location wouldn't be there, and just coming through the lid, the thickness of the metal wouldn't have been enough, but the fact that that's there is good, is really good. Okay. I just need to think about whether I want to do another job. Yeah, can you see that this lid has 3 counter bores there, which which would be in that surface there. I think I'll manage without. I've never heard anybody else mention them when swapping the lid. It just means that the spring for the detent will be squashed a bit more, you know, which might be a good thing. It might increase the detent feel. I'll give this a good clean then and make my mind up whether I'm ready to use it or not. I might want to do a different repair as well. I'll have a look at that and decide whether I'm going to do it or not. Hello, there's the switch fitted, fits well in there like that, so that's good. And I've just started doing another job. Can you see here where the slot for the gear stick is heavily worn there on that side? I've just done a job on this side, and what you should be able to see is that there's a 1/4 inch pin being inserted. It's actually a cut down Allen bolt, and there's a 1/4 UNF thread drilled and tapped through the casing, and it was screwed in, put some Loctite on it, and I've sawn it off. And I'm going to do the same on the other side there, so I thought as soon as I have done that one, I will film this one, just in case it's something that somebody else might want to try and copy. Because the surface is sloped like that, you can't go in with a drill. I'm going to go in with a milling cutter first. This is a 5mm slot drill or end mill. That's the bolt, but I'm going to cut the thread down to about there, and then it will get cut off once it's screwed in. Because I've shortened the thread, it probably hasn't got a clean start on the thread. Okay. Okay, that'll do. Tight. It's just, you know, grounded out on the thread. Righto. There we go. Okay. Threads work. This all needs cleaning up and greasing again. Okay. That's good, isn't it? That's got no sideways rock now. That rotational, you see, element there is, there was loads of it before, and it's only a little bit now. Well, no, that's great. What happened before was when you went to the gear knob end here and you moved it, it kind of rotated like that because of the slop. No, that's brilliant, that's great. And that'll last a long time because that's good material, those Allen bolts. Okay, right, we're getting somewhere. Righto, back in a bit. Hello. Yesterday I did quite a lot of work, but I did very little filming. So I thought I'd just very quickly touch on all the little jobs that were done. So here's my list, and there's a few things not ticked off, but a lot of things are now ticked off. Hubs. I degreased the axle tapers, made sure the hole in the hubs were clean, fitted the special washers that I made and put the nuts on, and they are kind of rattled tight but not torqued, so that can be done once it's on the ground. Before I put the wheels on, I bled the brakes. I got the easy bleed, and it was very simple, very quick, very easy. Bear in mind the master cylinder was already full of fluid and the front brake system was mostly full of fluid. And very quickly and easily I bled this side, bled the other side. I bled that one there and that one there, and obviously a load of air came out of here, some air came out of there, a little bit of air came out of there, and no air at all came out of that one over that side. So that was good. I put the exhausts on, nothing special about that. They were a tiny bit further forward, but the brackets at the back could pivot and move forward a little bit. Handbrake bracket. There's the new handbrake bracket there, just a piece of angle iron, cut to shape, drilled, bolts welded on, handbrake fitted to that, and obviously that one there goes there and that one goes there, so that's made. Gearbox oil, I'll do that when it's down on the floor. Connected up the generator, that's no problem, that's just you know, just doing up the connections. Seats, haven't put those in yet. Floors, I've put the floors in and taken them out and put them in and taken them out, and I've had to trim the middle of that piece there, that piece there. That floorboard had a little bit trimmed out the middle, and that was it. Handbrake link. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Shocks, I just connected the rear shocks. Carb linkage. I'll show you that in a sec. Clutch linkage. Because the motor was moved forward, what I did, I just made a little extension to go on there. It's got just a little bit of short 7/16 thread joining it to the clevis, and then that thread there goes into it. It's actually at its shortest length and the pedal position is okay. Carb linkage, I did something similar actually, thinking about it. Oh, it's not connected at the moment because I have to disconnect it to get the floorboards in and out, but I just did exactly the same thing. I just had a short piece there that's got a little bit of thread going from there to there, and then so that extended it by that much, which is roughly the amount that the engine was moved forward. Gearbox lid. Okay, that's quite a story. I'll show you the gearbox lid in a sec. Overdrive wiring, haven't started that. Headlamp aim, that needs to be done when it's on the ground. Coolant, I need to put coolant in the engine. I need to put oil in the axle and oil in the gearbox as well. Oh, gearbox oil. Oh, I'll just show you something. I remade this. I made these two kind of wings here that go either side of that washer to keep the cable on the washer in effect. And here, in that position there, I had 2 early Ford shackle pieces, you know, so I replaced it with this because it was better to do the transition from here to there. You can see this is just made up of kind of junk parts, but I kind of tried to do a little bit better than it was. And there is a bolt. It's a longer bolt. The reason I needed a longer bolt is because of the way that the wires are now arranged. Because this wire was trying to pull directly across this area here. So what I've done here, I've put I've got a couple of these long shackle bars and bolted them together. But you might be able to see on that far one, on this one, there are some washers holding them apart. So this bolt clamps onto the cable, and that one is free to, you know, self adjust, if you like, and the cable is free to travel around this this piece here. So it's kind of centralizes itself, and it does work. And it's all very close to the overdrive, but doesn't actually touch anything anywhere, which is really good. Okay, so that's my roundup of the jobs that I've done lately. I think I'm ready to put it down on the ground. Anyway, there's the conversion there. Oh, I fitted that, the speedo gear. That was really awkward. And I fitted the other speedo thing on the top of the torque tube there. That was really awkward as well. But as you can see, the overdrive fits. It doesn't foul the floor, and it doesn't foul the battery box. And the battery box was handy to position the brake pipe, the jump pipe. So there's a little summary of the work done lately, all in the final stages of this gearbox conversion. Hopefully I should be able to drive it quite soon, so that will be an interesting first drive video, won't it, when I'm ready to do that. Okay, thanks for bearing with me then on this job. I will bring you back when there's more to show. Well, it's down on the ground. That's good, isn't it? Okay. Now, the front should look a little bit lower because I've put that other cross member in. So let's have a look at the front end. Yeah, it does look a bit lower. It's not low, but it's, at least it's not crazy high. Yeah, so it's just a round of adding fluids now, and then some wiring, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, righto. I will bring you back when there's more to show. Cheers then, bye. That's virtually up to that level now. I'll put something underneath in case it drips. Okay, that's probably about it. Yep, there you go. Oh, I did put the thing in the right place, that's good. Okay, right, so that's full. And as the gearbox is sloping back a bit, it you know, it should mean that there's plenty for the overdrive. Righto, okay, I will. I was only doing that so I could see with the light, so I'll be back in a bit when I've sorted things out a bit better. Hello, look, the lid's in place. I made a gasket. I need to find some better bolts. I've just found a mixed bag of assorted bolts, but none of which are quite right. I've just tried shifting through the gears. It's biased to the 3/4 gate, so there's third, there's fourth, there's first, there's second, and then you have to crash over for reverse like that. So first, second, third, fourth, but there's a snag, and I'll show you what that is. Can you see that the front bolts aren't down? Let me tighten them up. Okay, let's tighten those up. It's actually in fourth now. Won't come out. Let me slacken them off again. So what's happening is, let me show you. These things here are relieved because that one there has a flat face. The springs and the balls are going coil bound. In other words, the shift rail can't push the ball up against the springs. The solution is to either shorten the springs or mill 3 little holes like that. Now if I show you that piece, it actually doesn't have that much metal there, so there would be partial holes. Also, that flange isn't that thick. So what I think I need to do is measure the other flange and then mill some slots as deep as I can, but without going all the way through. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, I've done my best to position it here. I've only got the gasket to go by as my guide, so I'm kind of lining up that dowel, this hole and this hole. Okay, so that is okay side to side. Just going to go a tiny bit that way. That is okay front to rear, and my measurements show me that these need to be about 4.5 deep, and this flange is about 5.5, but I'm going to go 4 deep. Yeah, I'm going to go 4 deep, so I need to kind of get that as a 0, and I've got depth stops up here, and I'll try and set these to 4 mil. Okay, let's just try that then. I'm going to chicken out and call it good at that. So let's wind the depth stop down to there. Right. Right. I'm chickening out at that. Where's your fingers, mate? Okay, I need to wind the table 905 thou that way. Right, okay, good. I will go and offer this to the car then and hope that it goes on okay. Fitted the lid in place, everything just dropped on nicely, and now that's third, fourth. Bear in mind there's only oil in the gearbox, there's no oil on the selectors or anything. 1, 2, crash over for reverse. There's reverse, I think. Oh no, there it is, there's reverse. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I intend to straighten this stick so that when it's in first, the gear stick is more up by the dashboard up here. Because I mean, second used to be here in this hook, so you know it needs straightening out a lot, and that will help. Having the gear stick straighter will help. It's having this big bend in it here like this that has made it put all that wear into the shifter housing. So there's first, second, third, fourth. Cool. Yeah, I don't like that bend, so I'm hoping I can straighten it at that point there. I hope I can. I hope I don't just snap it. I imagine it will all loosen up a bit with a bit more use. Plus this needs greasing, you know, it's got ancient grease on it. Okay, job well done today then. Even then, you know, there was quite a bit of machine work involved. Drilling the hole. You know, drilling this hole, tapping it, doing the repairs here, and then the 3 detent spring reliefs on the front rail, on the front edge there. Okay, righto. All in a day's work at Mart's garage. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Hello. I've got the lid bolted on. So it's the next day. I can't remember what I said last time. The lid's bolted on. It all looks good. And what I've just done, you can see the stick there. I just took it and straightened it in the press. I did it cold. Hang on. There's the finished lower half. What you do, you take a circlip out the end there. There's a circlip in that groove, and then there's a rubber piece that sits there, and then there must be another rubber piece. Yeah, there's another rubber piece at the top there, look. That piece obviously goes in that top rubber piece, and the other rubber piece goes here, I think. Yeah, it goes there. So this is the area where I've been bending it, and I just put it on a piece of metal and just pressed on there and straightened it out. It was really, I've looked to see if there are any signs of cracking. I can't see any, so I hope it's okay. Let's just put it in. This all needs to be cleaned up. Bear in mind there'll be another rubber bush there. So now that's nice and light now. Hang on, I'm trying to hold my phone. So here's the stick. So here's the stick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the knockover for reverse. You've got a lot more leverage now than you had before. I don't know if that stick had been bent or if it would naturally be like that, but that'll be about like that. So I think that'll be okay, you know, clear of the dash. It's slightly more clearance than I have with the Ford one. And I think when it's down in 4th gear like that, I don't think it'll be too close to the passenger seat. I think it'll be okay. Well, we'll find out, won't we? But it wouldn't be a big job to pull it out and bend it again if need be. Having the stick much straighter than it was will help those areas down there that I had to repair. it'll help those, it'll lessen the load on those. Okay, I'll get that assembled back up and cleaned up, and there's no reason why that can't be fitted. Okay, back in a bit. Hello, I've put the gearbox lid on permanently. I just used some of those button-headed bolts on there. I'm not 100% sure if I'm happy with that, but I'll go with it for now. I've put the handbrake on. I put a bit of blue Hylamar around the gasket, between the gasket and the box, but I just put grease on the cover so that if I take the cover off, the gasket will stay in place and the cover will just come off. I used conventional bolts there because they needed to be longer to take this bracket. So there's the handbrake, that's on at the moment, and that's off. There's a little bit of a sort of fight here, but I'm hoping it might be okay. Anyway, that's how it looks. I know it's a bit kind of rigged up. So, and there's the equaliser and the bridge piece, so they're all under there. I put the axle oil in, so that's done. I've put the coolant in, so that's done. I've straightened that stick from where it was, and I've cleaned up these parts here. These are nice and clean now. So what I'm going to do is grease them and fit that. So that's looking okay, I think. Slowly, bit by bit, things come together, don't they? And what you can do then is you can put those things on and forget about them. Okay, right, I'm getting relatively close to when I can drive it. The only thing I haven't got is any wiring at all for the overdrive. I'm waiting for a special relay to arrive. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just run it around with the Volvo box without the overdrive working, just to check that everything's okay in the first instance. But it would be nice, wouldn't it, to just flick that switch on the first test drive and put the overdrive in. Okay, anyway, leave it to me then, and I'll continue to work on it, and I'll bring it back when there's more to show. Hello, I've just rigged up some temporary wiring. I had a little think about it, and I suddenly realised that fuel pump over there is switched from the dashboard. So what I've done, I've took the wire off the fuel pump, put a jumper wire over onto the solenoid down there. I've done them in red so they're bright colours to show that they're temporary. I don't normally use bright colours. And then there's another wire from the other side of the solenoid to the fourth gear switch there, and then to earth on that bolt there. I've just loosely connected the battery. Always loosely connect the battery if you're just testing, so you can take it off quick if need be. So here's the ignition on auxiliary. There's the solenoid. Here's the switch. So it's not in fourth gear, right? So switch, 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 switch. Nothing happens. So put it in fourth gear. Now if you listen, and I'll put the phone down by the solenoid so you can hear it off. I'll do it gently so you can't hear the switch. On, off. So, and then just double test it. Look, back out of gear. On, no click. Off. On, no click. Back into gear. Listen. On. Off. On. Off. So when I am ready to drive it, which hopefully should be quite soon, at least the solenoid will work, so when I do go into top gear I can test it. Okay, it only took me 10 minutes to do that, so yeah, not a biggie, not worth putting off waiting for all the proper things to arrive. I've greased up the gear stick and fitted it, so that's ready to go now. So I'm going to put the floorboards in with just one bolt probably, and you know, with one screw each side rather. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. A couple of things, but nothing for you to worry about. So take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.